Welcome back to Views with Hughes or Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, and is under immense pressure following the recent failures of Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy and the ongoing legal battle with Gina Carano. Now, let's unpack what's happening here and why it matters and what it means for future Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and Star Wars. Now, first, let's address the Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy. Now, when Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm announced that Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy, there was a lot of buzz, and fans were excited to explore the new corners of the Star Wars universe, especially with the series set previously in the High Republic. But unfortunately, Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy didn't hit the mark for many viewers, no surprise there, but critics and fans alike have expressed disappointment in the storytelling, character development, and overall execution. And the pressure on Kathleen Kennedy here is really immense as she's the head of Lucasfilm, and Kathleen Kennedy is responsible for the overseeing of the creative direction and making sure projects align with the high standards set by Star Wars. Now, the bad reception of Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy puts Kathleen Kennedy in a tough spot, as it reflects on her leadership vision for the Disney Star Wars brand. Now, let's also go ahead and move forward into something different as well with the Gina Carano lawsuit. For those who might be up to speed, Gina Carano, the actress played Cara Dune in Mandalorian, was let go from the series after making controversial statements and social media on social media. And Gina Carano is suing Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and Bob Iger and Disney, alleging that her firing was unjust and that the studio mishandled the situation. Now, the lawsuit itself just added more pressure to Kathleen Kennedy. Not only is Kathleen Kennedy dealing with the fallout from the poorly received show, but she's also facing legal challenges that could impact the studio's reputation and finances. The lawsuit brings up questions about the studio's handling of talent, freedom of speech, as well as overall work environment. Now, it's also been over like 3 years since Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy of Lucasfilm fired Gina Carano because of her political views. But when Bob Iger and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy put out that ridiculous press release saying Gina Carano and her beliefs were awful and didn't represent their values, they were lying and slandering Gina Carano. Now, Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy made it seem like Gina Carano was the horrible person, when in reality, she just had different opinions. But in the 3.5 years since then, we've seen countless examples that prove this was a political move. And Bob Iger and Disney didn't like Gina Carano, was doing the like any ideology that's not left wing. And Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy wanted everyone to think the same way, and because Gina Carano didn't fall in line, they got rid of her. And this whole situation shows how Bob Iger and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm were pushing a political agenda by firing someone because they had different political beliefs. Now, Gina Carano just didn't sit back and take it, and she didn't back down either. Instead, Gina Carano decided to fight back. And earlier this year, with the help of Elon Musk, Gina Carano filed a major lawsuit against Bob Iger and Disney. Gina Carano claims that they fired her because of her political views. After filing a lawsuit, Bob Iger had a chance to respond, and now we've been waiting for quite some time to see if the judge will allow this lawsuit to move forward. And we were all waiting to see if Bob Iger and Disney's motion to dismiss would be granted. If the court agreed, with Bob Iger and Disney, that would be the end of it. But no further investigation to what's really going on inside Bob Iger and inside of Disney. And yesterday, we finally got an answer, and it's bad news for Bob Iger. The Disney and Gina Carano lawsuit is moving forward. Even Gina Carano had actually tweeted about the case yesterday, about the update as well, and Bob Iger and Disney is officially the lawsuit is officially proceeding, and the district judge signed an order yesterday. And about a month ago in June, we also heard that during the hearings, the judge didn't seem convinced that Bob Iger and Disney had a strong case, and the judge didn't even rush a decision. She took her time to figure things out, and after considering everything, she came back with a decision where Bob Iger and Disney's motion is denied, and this lawsuit will be moving forward. Now, this is a significant issue for Bob Iger and Disney, and the court documents reveal that U.S. Judge Sherilyn P. Garnett has denied Bob Iger and Disney's attempt to dismiss Gina Carano's lawsuit against both Bob Iger and Disney, as well as Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. Now, the judge has also determined that Bob Iger and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, well, they did not provide a compelling defense based on the First Amendment. As y'all remember, they claimed that they had, First Amendment rights to do this, but the court found their legal arguments insufficient to warrant the dismissal of the case. And as a result, the court rejected the motion to have the lawsuit thrown out, meaning Gina Carano's legal action will actually proceed. Now, Bob Iger didn't necessarily take the Gina Carano lawsuit seriously at all. But when Bob Iger was asked about it in February, Bob Iger's response was simply none, and he quickly moved on. But Bob Iger and Disney clearly don't want to discuss it, where Bob Iger and Disney's been trying to get the case thrown out, but it's still moving forward. And we don't know how it's going to end, but to me, this feels like a big win. And I think what happened to Gina Carano was totally outrageous. But here's the thing. If Bob Iger's and Disney's policy is to prevent people from, expressing their political opinions, then that's their policy. Not going to understand that. But that's not actually what Bob Iger and Disney's policy is. Now, we've seen, plenty of examples where people in Star Wars, like Pedro Pascal, and even more recently, Jack Black, who isn't even a major player in The Mandalorian, are allowed to speak their minds, okay? And in Marvel, actors like Mark Ruffalo often say extreme and divisive things that are far worse than anything that Gina Carano posted. Yeah, they still have their jobs, and Gina Carano got canned. Now, let's think deep like this. These two issues, Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy, and the Gina Carano lawsuit, they're not isolated. They both contribute to the broader challenges that's facing Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and the Star Wars franchise itself. Now, the pressure on Kathleen Kennedy is, it's not just about, addressing these specific problems, but also about maintaining the overall health and future of the whole Disney Star Wars brand itself. Now, the Star Wars franchise, which is beloved by millions, and every misstep is scrutinized. And Kathleen Kennedy's role as president means that she's at the forefront of these challenges, balancing the creative risks with fan expectations and managing internal and external controversies themselves. Okay. So what exactly does, the future hold for Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm? Well, the next steps will be crucial. And for Disney's Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy, well, there's an opportunity to learn from the feedback and make adjustments to future projects to the point that, there may not be a season 2 of Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland. And Kathleen Kennedy's ability to navigate this situation and turn the tide will be a significant factor in restoring confidence, among fans and critics alike. But regarding the whole Gina Carano lawsuit, it's essential for, Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm to actually address the issues raised as well as work towards resolving them. Now, how Lucasfilm handles this case and its fallout will impact the reputation of Lucasfilm and Disney in relationships with the talent in the industry. Now, let's also remember this also. Kathleen Kennedy is undoubtedly under a lot of pressure right now. The challenges with Disney Star Wars The Acolyte by Leslye Headland under Kathleen Kennedy and the Gina Carano lawsuit represent, the different significant hurdles for Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. Now, how these issues will be managed will shape the future of Star Wars and Lucasfilm's direction. However, if Bob Iger and Disney are going to permit some people to express their political views, well, they should be consistent and allow it for everyone. But that's not what Bob Iger and Disney have done or chosen to do. Bob Iger and Disney been keen on silencing anyone who doesn't fit the progressive narrative. And it's good news that Gina Carano is finally getting her day in court. Now, I'm hopeful that this lawsuit will reveal some of the things that Bob Iger and Disney, as well as Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, have been trying to keep under wraps. Okay, So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you may have with this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share far wide for our social media. And if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification so that way you notify the future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.